What theorem are you talking about?
We don't know.
Very famous French mathematician.
And this is his spiral.
Yeah. This is an incredibly simple mathematical formula that you just pump into a graphing calculator and popped out
No
this shape.
kidding.
And what's interesting about it is that it's a beautiful spiral. It starts as kind of a yin-yang, and this was 500 years ago before anybody was thinking about Eastern religions or anything. It's just a mathematical way that it works out. And then the arms get closer together as they go away from the center. And I always liked it. I was using it in artwork for years, and then I was invited to participate in a show in the Netherlands at the end of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds
Sorry. I remember that.
But back in, but the problem was that the curator said, "Well, you have to do this thing outside," and I didn't do any outside sculptural work, so I thought I'll just take the spiral that I play with in other works and figure out a way to extrude it, make it into a shape that could be planted with grass and would look really beautiful and be outside. So I worked it all out. I made these models and found this landscape architect in the Netherlands. And fortunately, the show had a good budget because it was the Dutch government sponsored this thing, and it was able to get it done. But it wasn't perfect because obviously it's for an exhibition and time constraints, space constraints. So it's a little bit smaller than this. And I really wanted to do another one that was exactly like my original idea was. So I practically just got off the plane coming back, and there was an article in the Times Standard about the Humboldt Botanical Gardens with a map, the same map that you're carrying around. It showed this incredible spot and this great idea for this botanical garden in my favorite kind of countryside. And I thought, I'm going to go talk to those guys and see if I can talk them into doing one of these things. And I met up with Karen Angel and made a proposal to the board of directors. All the stuff, made a big model, and everybody loved it. And they gave me the go-ahead, and that meant I could go ahead and start to try to raise money and use the non-profit status of the botanical gardens as a help to raising donations, which I was able to raise almost $23,000, enough to get it done. And believe me, it was a long process. We started the actual clearing of this area in 2004, August of 2004. Woody Murphy, with heavy equipment, built a kind of a base of the mound and cleared it out, leveled everything out. And then everything else had to be done pretty much by hand. There was a little bit of work that could be done with very, very small earth movers, but most everything was just wheelbarrow and shovels. And of course it would rain like crazy every winter, closing the road. And I was working a full-time job, so it would end up being, sometimes I'd be here one day a week for 4 hours with a wheelbarrow. So to just start to kind of figure out how many of those 1 days, how many of those 1 weeks you would have to add together to get this thing done. And so that's why it took 5 years.
It's too bad it's cloudy today because there's a great view of Bunker Hill Ranch right there. Believe it or not, it's a great shot.